Hello and welcome to the Sirrano Show. It has been a while since I've actually come into the studio and done a show on NewJerseyPulse.com and Sirrano.com. But there's a topic and a subject and something that is going on in Passaic County that made me give up all my schedule today to come down to the studio and actually do this show. I wanted to talk to Passaic County, and I wanted to let you know about Governor Christie and his appointment, Camelia Valdes, who is the current prosecutor in Passaic County. Now, I want to make some things very clear before I start the show. I am not against Governor Christie. Matter of fact, my newspaper was one of the only newspaper here in Passaic County that endorsed him. And number two, this is not about police officers. I have a great amount of respect for law enforcement, and I will not be convinced to go after law enforcement in any way. So I just wanted to make that very clear before I get into this show. Now, let me tell you what the show is about. This show is about the black community. Now here's what I want you to do. After you hear the show, I want you to text it. I want you to share it. I want you to send it to your friends. And I want you to just get on your phone and just pass it on, because it's just very, very, very important to show the community the political garbage, the political pandering, all the politics that is dirty and filthy is now embroiled in Paterson, Passaic County, in the re-appointment of the prosecutor, Camelia Valdes. And one of the reasons I say that is because I've been doing the news in this community for 8 years. And 4 years ago, there was the son of an imam who happens to be a black person that was killed by two auxiliary police officers. And she will do nothing about it. It took the city council, it took members of the community, the leaders of the community, to get a meeting with her to try to get her to take action on this black person that was killed on a motorcycle. One of the things we've learned about this prosecutor is that she is Governor Christie's favorite girl. And that concerns us very much. Now, I agree with a lot of things that the governor do. I'm a conservative independent, but I don't agree with all the things that he does. Kind of like the same way he viewed Romney when he was running for president. But what I disagree with the governor on, having been one of the only newspapers in this community that endorsed him, is his reappointment for his Camelia Valdes, who is the current prosecutor. What we know about her is when she just came into office, it was only Latino newspapers she would respond to. We try to figure her out. We try to interview her, but she will not take my calls. And I had a feeling something was wrong. What she did was she created a level of authority under her that makes it very difficult to get to her. So you cannot talk to this prosecutor by simply making an appointment and walking in the door. What you have to do is you have to go through all her commands that she has set up, as if she's a goddess. Now, I used to personally speak to the previous prosecutor if there was a problem, Jim Vigliano. I would sit in his office and I would question him about things, and his door was always open. But with this prosecutor, you can't do that. So it's very hard, even for this interview, to talk to her. Now, I did an interview with somebody close to her office, and here's what I've learned. They hate her. Her office hates her because of how she is. She plays the Latino card. She plays the only first woman in being a prosecutor card. She plays the Dominican card, and now she's playing the Democratic card. So here is, in my opinion, what I think of her. She is a Christie Republican now serving the Democratic Party. Whatever is convenient for her, she does it. Whether she's looking for fame or she's looking to run for office later on, I don't know what she's looking for. But this woman is one of the worst things that ever happened to the black community in Paterson and throughout Passaic County. Here's why I say that. When the black issue came about with the motorcycle cops that killed, auxiliary officers that killed that black person, she went nowhere next to it. And now you have a new issue. This was asked on my Facebook today. somebody sent me, his name is Andrew Love, and publicly he asked me this question. Would like to hear your feedback on this tragic, horrific murder. How are you proving your point on how current Prosecutor Valdes tries to sweep under the rug? Because I posted what she's done to the black community. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But what is at issue right now is there's a police officer, and he killed a black person in a hit-and-run accident. Well, was supposed to be an accident, but now it's a crime, because he left the scene. This is an officer leaving the scene. And like I said before, this is not against the police department or the other officers who protects his community. This is about this guy. The Herald News said that hero cop. Well, let me tell you something, what I know about heroes. Heroes don't run. Heroes don't leave people to die. Heroes don't... Cowards do it. Cowards run. Cowards leave people to die. Heroes don't do that. So when I see the other news media, like the Herald News saying he was a hero cop, he was awarded all of this, and you're trying to candy coat this. No, you don't get to candy coat this. You get to tell the truth. And the truth is, he was a coward when he left that black person to die, him being a non-black person, and ran away thinking nobody would see him. That's not a hero. That's a coward. So when these news medias come out and say these things, we have to put him on check. So here's my take on this. He's a coward. He's not a hero. I know hero cops. And I know when they fought for people. And I know they will continue to do that no matter what. And what a hero does when he makes a mistake, he stays. He stays and he faces it. He stays and he takes his beating no matter what. That's what a hero does. He doesn't run. So when they're saying he's a hero, he's not. So here's what happens. He goes to municipal court for a hit and run. He gets $50,000 bond with 10% fees. So he pays the 10% and walks out of municipal court. The prosecutor does not get involved. This is the second black person killed on her watch, and she doesn't get involved. Now here's the problem that I have. Because, and we're going to put this up, she has an entire profile on the black community that she doesn't invite us to her media events. We're not on her list. Because she knows when we show up, we're going to question what she does. From day one, we've been questioning what she's been doing. When Governor Christie makes an appointment in Passaic County, you have to watch why he's making the appointment. This is the governor's appointment in a Democratic city. So why? I'll tell you why in a second. I'll tell you who's responsible. It's not just the governor. So these black kids were involved in the shooting. One person did the shooting. She arrests the entire people, friends, everybody else, $2 million bond, cash bond, no 10% for every kid that was there. Whether you did the shooting or you didn't do the shooting, you were being charged $2 million cash. And then the judge has to figure out where the cash came from. That's what happens to these young black kids in Paterson under her watch. She takes them, she arrests them, and she does the numbers. It's a numbers game in the black community for her. But when an officer or a Hispanic or white or anybody else kills a black person, two officers in two different situations, she does not get involved. So she has no care for the black community. She has no concern. It doesn't matter who kills a black person. If you did it in your cop or whatever you are, you get arrested. It's a hit and run. You committed a crime. Once you run, it becomes a murder. As a prosecutor, you look at it and say, I don't care if the person is black. I don't care if you're a cop. You killed somebody and you ran. It becomes a crime. It becomes a murder. I guarantee you, if it was a black person that killed a cop and ran away from the crime, he would be arrested and there'd be a $2 million bond cash with no 10%, like all the other black kids she's been arresting. Now, most of her media conferences that we've actually heard about, because she doesn't invite us, the New Jersey Pulse, because we've criticized her in the past, and we've filed complaints against her with the Attorney General's office on her behavior. So she does not have a likeness for us. And this is the reason why. Because it's our job, it's my job. Not as the Herald News to candy coat and he was a hero cop. No, hero cops don't run. cowards run. And that's what we say. And that's why they don't like the New Jersey Post. Because we tell you like it is. We're not going to make you a hero if you're a coward. And especially if the black community is involved. When I came to Paterson, I found out that the black community was not represented. I don't care what the leader said. It's not represented. I don't care what all the Democrats say. They're not represented. These people come down. They get your votes. They talk a good talk. They say, "Whoa, Democrats, let's vote together." But when something happens, a crime is committed, you don't see the Democrats coming down and saying, "Hey, wait a second. There was one black shooter. These guys were his friends. They happened to be there. Why are they getting $3 million bond, cash bond?" There is a mother. And if we get the video, we'll put it up here. But I think we have a photo. Weeping in the courtroom, weeping. My son did not kill anybody. My son just happened to be there with his friends. It's a $2 million bond, cash bond. The mother is weeping, begging. Why is this happening? Because the politicians, the Democrats and some Republicans are making all these deals at the back of all these black voters, convincing them we're on your side. They're not on your side. They're on your side election season. They're on your side when they want to get those seats. They're on your side when they get those seats and they give it to all their friends. And the black community is still suffering today. Now, Valdes is Latino, and I'm going to tell you, how is she going to remain there? Governor Christie comes along and reappoints her. So here is my assessment, my opinion, whatever. I made some phone calls. I spoke to some people, and this is what I got out of this. Valdes is Christie's girl. She in his office when he was a federal prosecutor. He weaned her. They worked together. Christie wants her here. All right. So basically, she's a Republican, and now the Democrats. She's working for them basically and serving them. If Aslan Gao, a Democrat who pushed for the party, big deal. Criminal charges were filed against him. Under her watch, went out the door. Andrew Sayer, big Democratic deal, pushes them, try to become mayor through them, City of Paterson, so they can take over Paterson. Lost criminal charges against him for his crimes, went out the door. She brought him into the grand jury with his own video, testified in the entire defense, and he walked out the door. This is what she does. This is why she can't prosecute other cases. But to prosecute the black community, to prosecute minorities, she knows how to do that. So let me tell you something. When some minorities come to this country and they get into that lifestyle, it's called a circle. I've been in California, I've been in Hollywood, I know the circle. When they get up to that circle, they are no longer a minority. They are one of them. So when she says I'm the first Latino, when she says I'm the first woman, don't believe that garbage. She is one of them. And we are down here, and I say we are down here because I walk the streets of Paterson. I should carry a gun for the kind of things that I say, people say. But I don't, as a Christian, I'm like Christ, I'm fearless. Because I want people to know I'm there. I walk the streets. I meet people. I am here. I hear your issues. I know what's going on. And when somebody comes to me as a newspaper president and try to calm me and say, "Oh, this is a good appointment. That's a good appointment." It's not. They are lying to you. The Democratic Party made a deal with Chris Christie. And here's what the deal is. The deal is the prosecutor Valdes in Passaic County will be reelected by Governor Christie. He gives them that because him and her are one. And in return, he gets his Republican judges appointed. And then in return, they throw in a couple of Democratic judges in there. And this is the political game that gets played on the back of every black and Hispanic votes in the city, in Passaic County and the city of Paterson. So if you live in the city of Paterson and you're a black person, be very careful because they are not on your side. This prosecutor comes from the Democratic vote. This prosecutor comes from a Christie's appointment, and she is not good for the black community. So let me tell you where we go from here. Where we go from here is she could be appointed by the governor, which she is, and she could be weaned by the Democrats, which she is. But the only two votes that she has to get to remain in that office is Senator Nelly Posen, who is a Democrat, and a Republican who is Cardinelli. Cardinelli's a Republican, so he's going to go with the governor's choice with the deal. And, if I write this in my newspaper, I might call it the deal. The deal double dealing something. This is what this is going on behind your backs. Double dealing with one party and another party, and then they come down to try to get your votes. How many times did Governor Christie come down here and talk about the crime and talk about the issues? How many times you see anybody else on the Democratic Party or anybody else on the streets? Pasquale, he's a multi-millionaire. He's a $6 million man. Have you seen him in the streets talking about crime? But you know what he does? He gets good grant writers. And those grant writers comes up with all these things, and he comes up with a big press conference. Anybody can do that. I can do that. You can do that. But the bottom line is this. Nelly Posen is a Democrat. And you, the black vote, you put her in office. Your vote put her in office. And Nelly Posen has to cast the deciding vote to make her prosecutor again in Passaic County. For what she does and how she profiles the black community. And we're going to put up the picture here to show you the profiling that she does. The profiling, in New York, they call it statistics. Statistics say in this community, there's the black community, there is crime mostly, so we're going to frisk every black person we see. Well, that's what she does now. This governor's appointment, prosecutor appointment, has her own statistics going on here. First ward and fourth ward, majority crime, black community, that's where we're going, that's where our arrest is, we're going to make the numbers there. Does she go to Wayne with the same attitude? Does she go to all these other cities, the 15 other cities with the same attitude? No, because I've been in her press conference and I never heard any language that, you know, well, we have this in Wayne, we have profiled Wayne, we have profiled Fairlawn, we have profiled Clifton, we have profiled statistically all this. I've never heard that. But I've heard she's profiled Paterson. And you're going to see the picture if we get a chance. We're going to put it up here. That's a profile in the city of Paterson. Black community. That's where she's going. Christie's appointment. And Nelly Posen is the one that has to put her back in office. Now here's the situation with Nelly Posen. She gets the Democratic votes. She gets the black votes. But she's voting because she's a woman and she's Latino. That's Nelly Posen's issue here. But if she does vote, you're going to need to send a strong message to Nelly Posen. If you vote her in, we vote you out. That's your message here. You vote this woman in, we vote you out. Because this is not about being Latino, and it's not about being a woman. Because if you wanted a woman to run Passaic County who resonate with the people, then they would have chosen Karen Brown. She's the attorney that's been jumped around from the Democratic Party. She's a woman, and she's black, and she's highly qualified. She would have been the best prosecutor here for Passaic County. But there's no politics involved. There's no wheeling. There's no dealing. You give me this judge, and I'll give you that prosecutor. You give me that judge, and I'll give you this judge. This is what's happening right now. This is the cross lines of the political world, and the judges and the prosecutors and everybody else over your head. They are not for you. So here's another situation where they're telling me about this person that was killed. His name is Jake Field. He was killed by this cop. And they're calling him for, was once praised for bravery by the Herald News. Yeah? So, like I said, heroes don't run. Cowards run. And this man ran. And it's another black person that got killed by a cop. And the prosecutor sends him down to municipal court. $50,000. 10%. And every black kid that is arrested, one guy would do the shooting and she'll grab all 7 of them. And all 7 of them gets $2 million cash bond, cash, no 10%. And that's what you, the voters, have to explain to yourselves. How do you sit there and let this happen? How do you continue to let this happen? And you know what? You'll come to the council meetings and you'll talk and you'll realize, you know, I understand what the rallies does, what the marching does. It gives you a sense of some kind of outlet to make you, you know, have some kind of comfort. But this is not a time for comfort. This is a time for action. And the only action that you can send here, if you're a Democrat, if you're a black person, is you need to tell Nelly Posen, if she gets voted back in, this prosecutor, and Nelly Posen gets voted out. And I'll tell you something, I love Nelly Posen, she's a great person. I endorse her. Matter of fact, we have a Latino newspaper coming out, and she's one of the few people that we're going to praise for her work and her ability. Not as a woman, but as a Latino woman who has come up through struggles. But this Christie's appointment, I'm going to explain to you before I close, because I don't want this to be a long show, because I want you to share it, and I want people to hear it, and I want you to get into your conscience and realize this is the first time in your life you can send a message as a black person, as a minority. And if you're a Latino, this is the first time you can stand in solidarity with the black community for what has been happening here with all these black kids getting arrested. It doesn't matter if Valdes is a Latino. It doesn't matter if she's a woman. What matters is the politics that is behind her. What matters is Christie behind her. What matters now is she's playing the Democratic card to become this, get into this position and become the goddess of this law enforcement here. But when I found out today that her office hates her, when I found out today she's trying to make numbers in the back of the black community, when I found out today that nobody likes her, nobody really likes her because of her attitude, and you wouldn't get that sense of her, because I saw an interview of her with NJTV, I think. And she comes across like, yes, and yes, I'm for this community and that community, and crime is this. And if I didn't know what I know, if I didn't speak to the people around her, I too would have probably been confused. But I'm not confused, because I ask questions, and I go to people around her, and I ask previous people who are in that office, and I try to get a sense of what is she like, or what are the people around her like, and who's involved in her reappointment. Christie is involved in a reappointment. And if you live in Passaic County, if you're a Democrat, if you're a black person, it should send up a red flag right there. Why would the governor, a Republican, reappoint her on the Democratic line? It's because he wants his 5 judges or 4 judges or whatever he wants, not opposed by the Democratic Party. So this is a nasty deal for the black community. This is a dirty deal, and you have to stop it. And the way to stop it is to send a message to Nelly Poe, Senator, and send a message to Senator Cardinelli, and we are going to put their information up at the end of this video, and you can call them, you can write to them, you can come at the city council meeting in Paterson, and Nelly Poe is always there, and you can tell her, you vote for Christie's appointment, we're going to vote you out. And I'm saying to the senator, if you're listening to this right now, in the next election, if you vote for Camelia Valdes as prosecutor and rubber stamp her in Passaic County, you are rubber stamping her offenses, yes, her offenses against the black community in Paterson. Taking all those young boys who were just sitting there with the shooter or somebody. I'm not saying the guy didn't pull a gun, maybe he did, but you grab everybody around him, a $2 million bond. You don't do that. But yeah, you do it to the black community, and then you hide behind your layout walls up in the prosecutor's office where nobody can touch you. So I wanted to tell you what's happening in this case. I want you to tell you about the double dealing with the Republicans and the Democratic Party. And like I said, I am a conservative. I am independent. But I don't care who you are. If you double deal a group of people, I will not be on your side. I won't do it. I just can't consciously, with good conscience. Herald News has sold out. That's what they do. They're a big newspaper and they sell out. But you know what? We're online now. And because we're online, I urge you to pass this video on and tell people and show them what's going on against the black community. And I do have a Latino newspaper coming out soon. And if you're a Latino, you have to be in solidarity with other people. You have to integrate yourself in society. And that's one of my key things for the Latino community. You have to integrate with the American society. And this is a great opportunity to show your integration and not separation from the black community. To stand in solidarity and tell this woman, no, Latinos are going to be some of the most powerful people in this country, but not the wrong Latinos that's going to make other cultures despise and dislike them for their actions. There are great Latinos, and we're going to start honoring them, but this is not a prosecutor or a woman that we're going to honor simply because she's been, and I loosely use the word targeting, because somebody used it to me. I think she's targeting the black community, and I'll repeat that word, and that's what's happening here. So again, I stand in solidarity. I see what's going on in the black community. I walk around that community, and people tell me that they're griefs all the time. So please, tell Nelly Poe no. Tell Nelly Poe no to Camelia Valdes as prosecutor. And when you tell Nelly Poe no, you tell Christie no. So just make sure you remember that. If you say yes to Nelly Poe, voting for her, you're saying yes to Governor Christie. And like I said, I have a great amount of respect for Christie, but this is one of the times when I disagree, 100% disagree with this appointment, double dealing, back dealing with the Democrats to try to get her back in office. And just because she worked with him, and there's a communication. But one of the things, and also, before I close, one of the things is, I don't want people thinking that Republicans, when you find out she's a Republican, when you find out how close she works with Chris Christie when he was a federal prosecutor, it's going to make good Republicans look bad that she, coming from Christie's Republican circle, is going after blacks. And look at how she's going after them, as Claire on the table, as Clara just told it to you. I was angry when I saw this guy in municipal court. I was angry, and I wanted to write this down. I have one of my reporters come and do it, but I just wanted to do this show so you can see. And I hope you're as angry as I am. And I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're a Republican and you want the black vote, so you want to come into Paterson, then you too must tell your Senator Cardinelli this is a bad deal, laying down in bed with the Democrats to give that Republican, and I know she is, in my heart I know she is because of a relationship with Christie, the Passaic County Prosecutor's Office. And I spoke to some leaders in the Republican Party, and they were angry too. They were angry. But you don't have to double deal the soul of the black community in Paterson to put should I call it closet Republican, from Christie's, serving the Democrats? You don't have to do those things. But when you do, I don't care if you're my own brother. A long time ago, I wanted to be a police officer myself. One of the questions is, if your own brother committed a crime, would you arrest him? And I said yes. I didn't have to think. He committed a crime. So I don't care who you are. If I know people were concerned that I was going to do this show. He's a prosecutor, a husband works in law enforcement, and they can target me. Well, to ease your concerns, this is what I do. Every show that I did is controversial. I send a copy to the people that will arrest her or anybody around her that will try to come after me. And we wait for them. And we look for it. So that's, if you're concerned about that, which some people were before I did this show, and I said, well, we send a tape, we send a copy of the video. We know that when Richard Burdick, the sheriff, was running for office, some members, I don't know if he was involved, wanted to sue me, keep me distracted before the elections. But it didn't happen. It wouldn't have distracted me. I don't care what else is going on. When you go after the people, it's my business to stand there. And when the other news media is calling these cops heroes, no, this cop hero. That's not right. I know hero cops. I talk with them in the streets of Paterson all day. They're hero cops. They won't leave the scene of the crime. This is a coward. And as much as I don't want to play the race card here, the two auxiliary guys that killed the black guy, they were Hispanic. He was black. This guy is Hispanic. His name is Jose Urena. The guy that he killed was black. The prosecutor up there, when the councilman Julio Tavares was using money from his website to pay for his election thing, and we sent that to her, she did nothing. So if she's playing the Latino card and defending her people and going after blacks, then that's something to think about. Just think about that. Every time a black person commits a crime, she grabs everybody around, the poor kids, $2 million. This guy, municipal court, and Mr. Love, thank you for the Facebook posting, and that's my response to you. I just think you're right, it's horrific. And this guy would just walk away with a $50,000 bond, 10%, after he murdered a black person and the prosecutor. And I say murder for this reason. Once you leave, it's a crime. It becomes murder. And I say it on my Facebook page, which is Paterson Pulse, which I do most of my work on, not on New Jersey Pulse. I say it on that page. If it was the other way around, there was a black person that killed a cop, she'd be at his doorstep, $2 million, cash, no bond. If it was the other way around. And that's clear, and it's evidence, and the last time the city council members had to go to her when the other cops killed the black guy, on the motorcyclist who happened to be black. I don't know if that's going to have to happen here. Again, it's by force you have to get her to respond. And finally, I still want you to remember this. This is Chris Christie's appointment of a prosecutor over Paterson, the black community. And I guarantee you, if Karen Brown was the prosecutor there, none of this would be happening. Those poor black kids, will not be paying $2 million because they tried to bully her in Passaic County to do it, and she won't do it. You get the criminal, you charge him with the most amount of the money, and the rest you lessen their bail, and you get them to turn on each other, testify against each other. That's kind of the deals that they make. But why do you put young black kids in jail? Because they just happen to be there. This guy didn't just happen to be there. He killed somebody, and he's not arrested. Mr. Purcourt. My name is Sirrano Keith Baldeo. This is the New Jersey Pulse News and the Sirrano.com. SIRRANO. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.